What is up YouTube, it's JBT bringing you guys a highly requested video, and that is the best pure sharpshooter build on NBA 2K19. Now, I have had a shit ton of fun using this build. You can pull it from half, make contested threes, and today I'm going to show you guys the build that all top pure sharpshooters use on NBA 2K19. So let's get straight into the video. Now, a lot of people in the 2K community are saying you make a higher percentage of your shots by making your player left-handed, but I don't think that's true. And I prefer taking moving shots to the right side of the court, so I made my player right-handed. But I would just recommend picking whatever you feel more comfortable with. Now, for the position of your pure sharpshooter, we are going to be discussing the point guard and the shooting guard pure sharpshooter. Making your pure sharpshooter a small forward is a terrible idea, but I'll talk about that more later in the video. Now first, let's look at the point guard. Now, looking at the badges for this build, you get all your 3-point badges as high as possible. You also get mid-range Deadeye on silver, which will help you shoot lightly contested mids pretty consistently. And you get Dimer, which you probably shouldn't have on your shooter, and Pick and Roll Maestro, which will boost your shot after you receive a screen from your teammate. Now, looking at the shooting guard pure sharpshooter, we have the best shooting badges as possible, just like the point guard, as well as mid-range Deadeye on gold and defensive stopper on a non-defensive build. Now, if we take a second and compare the shooting guard and the point guard pure sharpshooter, we're going to see here that the difference between the two builds is for the shooting guard, you're getting mid-range Deadeye on gold compared to silver, and you're also receiving defensive stopper on bronze. But for the point guard, you're getting Dimer, Lob City Passer, and Pick and Roll Maestro, which the shooting guard doesn't get. So honestly, I don't know which position is better for a pure sharpshooter. In my opinion, it kind of just comes down to the person's playing style. Like when I made my pure sharpshooter, I went with the shooting guard because I play more 2s and 3s. So having that mid-range Deadeye on gold makes me really hard to stop. But if you run with a lockdown or slashers, having Dimer, even on bronze, will help your teammates shoot more consistently, and having Lob City Passer is also nice. So you guys can let me know which position you prefer. Now, regardless of which position you choose, you're going to want to go 6'5" for the height. Now, let me explain why. You're going to want to minimize your weight so you can be as fast as possible. And you're going to want to minimize your wingspan, and what you're going to see here is that this will give you a 76 ball control. And a lot of you guys are wondering why 76 ball control matters. Like, who cares? But what this is going to allow you to do is once takeover, you're going to be able to speed boost on a player with a 97 3-point rating. Now, keep in mind, just because you get a 76 ball control does not mean you could upgrade him to that right away. I think you need to hit like 97 overall before you get that final ball handling upgrade. Now, for me, I went 6'6" when I made my pure sharpshooter because when I made my pure sharp, it was later in the year and I knew I wasn't going to have the time to grind to 97. But if you're like me and you don't want to grind to 97 or there's not enough time left in 2K, I would just recommend going 6'6" for the height. So you're putting an extra inch on your guy while still keeping a 96 3-point rating. Now, like I promised you guys, I need to talk about the small forward pure sharpshooter for a second. And this build is a 2K player's worst nightmare, and let me explain why. You are literally making a midget stretch 4 by making this build. Now, let's say you go 6'8", for example. So what is happening is your limitless just got taken down from Hall of Fame to gold, which is basically the main purpose of making a pure sharpshooter. And not only that, all the cool badges a point guard pure sharpshooter gets, like Dimer, Lob City Passer, Pick and Roll Maestro, this build doesn't get any of that. And the mid-range Deadeye is only on silver. So by making this build, you are just going to be worse than every other person who's smart enough to make a guard pure sharpshooter. Now, another commonly made mistake is people who are like, oh, I want to be like grinding, I want to be like Joe Knows. So they go and they make a pure stretch 4, and then they're like, well, I want to be athletic and I want to be a better shooter, so I'm going to choose 6'8" for the height. And you guys would be surprised how many times I've seen people with this 6'8" pure stretch 4 in the park sending me squad invites and then wondering why I don't want to play with them. Because you literally could have just made a 6'8" pure sharpshooter, had max out shooting badges, but this is what I'm here to help all my subscribers avoid making mistakes like these. Now, quickly, I want to give an honorable mention to the 6'2" pure sharpshooter, which by making this build, you're going to get a max 99 open shot 3. But the reason I didn't include this as the top Pure Sharpshooter build is because it's a pretty big liability on defense, being 6'2". But you're going to be surprisingly quick on offense, and by making that build, obviously having a 99 open shot 3 will allow for some crazy bailouts. Not only it's fun, but it's a very good build to use competitively once you practice using it. For my next video, I'm most likely going to upload my dribbling animations for non-dribbling archetypes. So make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of that. If you guys are looking for my jump shot, I made a previous video on that, so make sure to check that out. And if you guys enjoyed this video, or it helped you out in any way, make sure to take a couple seconds of your day, drop a like. If you haven't already, hit that sub button. I got exciting gameplay coming up that you're definitely not going to want to miss. But anyway, until next time, it's JBT, and I'm out. Peace.